I'm very grateful to Gary. He's a St. Paul resident. They reached out to my office when I was still on maternity leave with an ask for the council to pass this resolution, and I will speak more about it. There's been so much work done on this by Gary and organizational partners, and so I just am so grateful for it because we know that right now we are living in a time of deep uncertainty and chaos, and there are so many families right now who are hurting. This is a resolution that is critical for citizens and local governments to be very clear about where we stand when it comes to our rights, the rule of law, and our constitutional system of governance, especially as more cities are impacted by ICE and other federal actions. We hope that after hopefully the unanimous support of the council here, that many other units of government will consider following suit and approving a resolution like this as well. So why don't you both come on and step on up here closer to me? I'm going to be reading this because it really beautifully lays out the ways in which our federal government right now is violating our rights, and I want to be very clear about this. This is a resolution defending the U.S. Constitution and the rule of law. Whereas the St. Paul City Council believes that the United States Constitution is the basis for our democratic republic and our civil society, and whereas the first three articles of the U.S. Constitution establish three separate but equal branches of the United States government, and whereas the St. Paul City Council acknowledges the unconstitutional consolidation of power in the executive branch by executive orders and willful misdeeds such as, but not limited to, the revocation of birthright citizenship, freezing of federal spending approved by Congress, rescission of appropriated funds, shuttering of federal agencies, demonstrating a pattern of usurping the duties of the legislative branch, violating due process rights of the persons of the United States, interfering with and threatening free enterprise and academic freedom, infringing upon and revoking civil service protections for federal employees, threatening individuals with deportation, investigation and or prosecution based on political views, detaining individuals based on racial or ethnic criteria alone, ignoring or disobeying judicial mandates, politicizing law enforcement and the military, and violating the Posse Comitatus Act, imposing import taxes and engaging in trade agreements without congressional authorization, apprehending members of the press, and generally exhibiting contempt for the separation of powers, freedom of speech, and equal justice under the law. And whereas the Minnesota Attorney General's office has filed multiple lawsuits against specific executive orders and other abuses of power, and whereas each member of the St. Paul City Council swears on an oath to the U.S. Constitution and thus has a duty to support, protect, and defend the U.S. Constitution and the rights of residents within their jurisdiction that are being harmed by violations of the U.S. Constitution, therefore be it resolved that we, the St. Paul City Council, declare our support for the role of the United States Congress as a co-equal partner of three in our constitutional federal republic, support and encourage the congressional delegation of Minnesota to lead their colleagues to stand up and reclaim their constitutional duty to be an equal partner in the administration of the U.S. government, to work hand in hand with the judicial branch to ensure that the U.S. Constitution is not violated by the executive branch, and to ensure that illegal or unconstitutional actions that have occurred are overturned, and also that we direct that this resolution be forwarded to the office of each member of the Minnesota congressional delegation, and that will be something that my office takes care of. And so with that, I would like to hand over the mic to Gary and Rebecca.
Welcome up.
Thank you. Council President Naker, Vice President Kim, council members. My name is Gary Fifield. I'm a constituent of Ward 3. I want to thank council members Yang and Johnson for authoring this important resolution. The second paragraph of our Declaration of Independence states, quote, "Governments are instituted among men, deriving their powers from the consent of the governed. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it. We have no desire to abolish our government, but we surely wish to alter its behavior." The Declaration goes on to list abuses and usurpations, including keeping among us in times of peace, standing armies, protecting them from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states, cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, imposing taxes on us without our consent, exciting domestic insurrections amongst us. These abuses and others mirror those in the resolution before you. Many of our elected and appointed leaders daily violate their oath to defend the Constitution of the United States and to see that the laws are faithfully executed. It's time for this council and the people of the city to be put on record and to call our leaders to account. This resolution is a statement of both our profound displeasure and the expectations we have of our federal government. Our democracy is facing an existential threat. This resolution may be only words on paper, but so was the Declaration of Independence. This is a statement of where we stand, of what we value. I encourage you all to vote in favor of the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us here today. My name is Rebecca Larson. I am one of the co-leaders of Indivisible Twin Cities, a volunteer-led chapter of the pro-democracy and anti-authoritarian movement that is called Indivisible. Until a year ago, I was a resident of St. Paul, but I made the brave move to cross the river into Minneapolis, so I'm speaking today as a leader of the pro-democracy movement. Indivisible Twin Cities has been employing a variety of tactics during this time of occupation by ICE in our communities, but also over the past year especially, as Trump and his regime have escalated their brutal and cruel tactics. All that we do is in the interest of saving what is left of our fledgling democracy. This means organizing protests such as No Kings, inviting people to be civically engaged, and trying, when it's necessary, to send the word to our elected officials at all levels that when they stand up for our democracy and against the authoritarians running our federal government, that we the people will stand with you. Some tactics will be labeled performative. People question whether protests matter, whether strongly worded letters matter, or sit-ins at Target, for example. But our firmly held belief is that nonviolent, peaceful movements sustained for as long as it takes are the only way to overturn authoritarian governments, as we have seen throughout history and around the world. We believe every time an elected official shows courage and resolve and people see it, it gives them courage and resolve. And right now, courage and resolve are what we all need. So thank you for considering this proposal to stand up for our democracy and our Constitution. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much.
Can I just add one thing? Another supporting organization for this is Common Cause Minnesota. Anastasia Belladonna Carrera was planning to be here to speak, but she's tied up at the Capitol with negotiations that her national organization asked her to participate in around the Metro surge and election issues. So she sends her regrets and support for this resolution.
Thank you.
Thank you both so much. And with that, I will close by saying that Gary and Rebecca, I was very moved by what you both said, that yes, these are words on paper, but these are also values. And this is a body that can convey to other government entities about where we stand in fighting fascism, in protecting our communities. And I still remember how it feels to sit in where you are now, on the benches in the council chambers here, when I wasn't somebody who was a decision maker at the table. And it mattered to me what my leaders believed in and where they stand. And so to me, I just want people to know that those of you who are so brave, who are putting in time to be out there in the streets in fighting against ICE and standing up for our communities, I see you. I'm here in solidarity with you. Gosh, I feel like every single time we have a council meeting now, my tears are always falling because this is something that is so personal to me. And if any of you have resolutions that you want to bring forward, please know that the doors to my office are open, and I'm open to always reading them and bringing them forward to the council here, because our collective work together is how we will beat fascism, and I believe that we will prevail. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Yang, for your powerful words, and also to our speakers. Really appreciate you being here and bringing this forward. I'll take that as a motion in support to approve. Is there any further discussion of the motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
6 in favor, none opposed. The resolution is adopted. Item number 15.